Hey everyone, hope you're having a great day. It's Monday, just got home from work. I haven't done a video in a while, so I thought I'd give you a little update. I'm in my office right now, so I'm just going to be narrating what I am going to be doing. Yesterday, I did a bunch of seed starts. I did 9 trays of sunflowers, and there's a reason why. Um, I have a fence line in my backyard, which is right beside a highway, and there's no sort of privacy screen between us and the highway. And I'm thinking that if I plant these sunflowers starts along the fence line, that they'll grow up and they'll give me some sort of a partial privacy fence. And we could also use the flowers to put in arrangements so that we could give to people or sell, hopefully sell. Still having trouble trying to figure out how I'm going to get an audience and get actual customers. It's not really the best situation to be in because I'm working, a full-time job and got another job on the side, and I also try and do this too. But gardening is my therapy session, so that's what I do to relax and enjoy life is by spending time getting my hands dirty. Last night I found the GIS map of my location, and I did some mock drawings of what I could potentially do as far as expanding the garden if we decide to stay here. I would like to get some chickens, and Ann and I are actually talking about doing that here soon. We're saving up so that we can actually build this, have the resources to build the mobile chicken tractor that I can use to move around the yard and cut my grass. The only downside about that is that I do most of my gardening in my front yard, and I want to expand that area, but in order to do that, I'm going to need them be out in my front yard to till my garden for me. Well, with being a corner property right beside a highway, and I'm only here in the evenings and not much during the weekends, I don't really feel all that confident that if I were to leave them unsupervised all day out in my front yard, that they would be back, that they would still be there when I got home. But I'm glad I'm gonna do it. Just make sure that it's actually supervised. But it's probably gonna be closer towards the end of the growing season. Me and Anna are also talking about getting some silage tarps and just tarping the ground and have the chickens in the backyard just mowing the grass every day, basically. We would like to have the chickens for the eggs as well, but my biggest reason for having them is just so that they could do the dirty work for me and prep the landscape so that it's ready to plant into for the next growing season. We haven't decided on any type of breed. We're still tossing numbers up in the air. Anna's saying 2 to 4, and I'm thinking more like 6 to 10. It's just I want them to be able to take care of that square footage that they're going to be in the mobile chicken tractor and be able to do a decent till job. So we're still figuring it out. So yesterday, after I got done spraying or starting seeds, I sprayed my fence line down with Roundup just to kill the grass on the opposite side of the fence. The city comes out and actually somewhat manages the growth, especially right there beside the road. And I'm worried that if I don't get rid of that grass before they arrive to cut it down, that when the sunflowers do start sprouting and growing, they might come and whack my sunflowers down, and I'm gonna be very disappointed and upset. So I'm thinking that if I go ahead and just knock out the grass, they'll see that it's dead and that doesn't need any attention, and hopefully leave the few plants that are actually growing up along the fence line alone. But we'll see how that goes. We also have, I also planted some privacy trees. I forget what the name. It's like a cedar or something. Anyways, they're still pretty small, so they're not really doing that great. It's going to take them a while to actually do anything, maybe a couple of years. So I was hoping to see, by doing the sunflower thing, see how good of a job it actually does blocking off. I also started some flowers around my front entrance of my driveway. We have a shared location for the neighbors across the street for our mailboxes, and I'm putting up. Well, I buried some flower start bulbs. I think it was like Black Eyed Susans. What was it? Black Eyed Susans. Bee balm? No, it wasn't bee balm. It was something else. And lilies. It was three. It's three different sets of flowers. I know that. I had to go back and look. But I'm also thinking about the area behind the mailboxes is grass. Considering going out there and laying some landscape fabric, and so that it'll kill the vegetation underneath the fabric. And I'm thinking about planting some mammoth variety sunflowers and just direct sow them. Just kind of, do a border behind and just grow flowers. My biggest thing is that this year I'm doing a bunch of front yard gardening, and I'm trying to promote as much as I can beneficial insect population. So I got a lot of flowers planted, and I got several that are starting to sprout, especially against the embankment beside the highway. A couple years ago, I dumped a thick layer of wood chips and just let them sit. And last year, they had some grasses grow through it, and so before the grass actually starts coming back on that embankment, I went out there and spread some flower seeds and hit it with some fertilizer as well. So hopefully the flowers will be able to outcompete the grass. And I also have a few support systems that I'm going to be planting on the side of my house. That I'm going to be planting my tomatoes and peppers, basil, and probably marigold too, just because they're so complementary towards each other. The basil and marigold especially, they help keep the bugs away from the tomatoes. And tomatoes and peppers, they both need a trellis type support system. So I'm going to try to see how they turn out growing beside each other. I have a couple areas out in front of the house that are tarped right now. I'm still up in the air about what I'm going to do with that. And I would like to plant some corn, but I really don't have a good place for it, which is why I'm, wanting to expand my growing area and get the silage tarps and get chickens so I can actually go on the side of my house and start rows of corn and other tall plants, and so it's not just blocking the view of the house, and somewhat give us a little bit more privacy in a way, and food. That'd be nice too. It's always nice to get food. So I've started sunflowers yesterday. Started milkweed, cucumbers, rhubarb, melons. Melons, I think I'm going to grow in front of the house. When I bought this property, I had a bunch of shrubbery that I chopped down pretty much the next day. The second day I was living here, and it's just bare. there's nothing there, I'm thinking about just planting them against the side of the house and see how they do. My only concern is that I don't have gutters attached to the roof line, so that when it rains, it's just gonna pour down right there. And I'm a little bit concerned that I'm gonna have mildew issues with the leaves. But you don't learn if you don't try. So that's what I'm doing. But now I gotta, get back to Houston, having to cut grass. So that's what we're doing now for the remainder of the day. Thank you guys. I hope you had a wonderful day, and I appreciate you checking in. Thanks.